on the video today, I want to take a few moments and talk about a concept called failure inflation. If you have no idea what this is, then this video is going to be helpful to you. If you're a coach, you're a therapist, you're a mentor, this will help you coach people better. And if you're a student of self-improvement and you are interested in personal growth, this channel is all about that. Then my intent is that this is going to be helpful. Okay. There is a triad in personal development. It's called triad, means a triangle: fear, judgment, and ego. Okay, fear, judgment, and ego. There are some good things about this triad, but mostly, if I position this triad to you, I say, hey, what do you think about ego, judgment, and fear? And the chances are you'll give a very negative response. You'll say it's not good to have an ego, not good to have judgment, and not good to have fear. Well, they all play positive roles also. So the discussion now is, fear is good. Fear stops you from really risking everything. Judgment is good. Judgment allows you to strengthen your mind and allows you not to do things and observe something, and then allows you to or kind of builds you up not to deal with that. And so is ego. Ego is also helpful. Sometimes you can take an authority position, you can draw some lines, some boundaries, and also individually these are all good, but overall, collectively, and just in common sense, these are not good. Every book, every philosopher, every thinker, they tells you to stay away from these things. Don't judge anyone. Don't have ego. Don't have fear. Well, when these three things come together, okay, it does one thing. They're proven when all these three things exist, then there is one damage that happens, which is people who are fearful, people who judge, and people who have an ego, they invariably amplify failure, the inflate failure, okay, and the magnify failure. Okay. And magnification of failure is obviously has its own effects, and that's the biggest negative that comes out of this triad. Why this happens? Because of programming, because of the society, because of constant comparison. That's how we were raised. Certainly the social pressure, and also sometimes the brain's memory, something, and the memory bias of the brain. Something might have happened in the past, and you hold on to that. You can translate that into a grudge or whatever it is. So it's the society, it's the circumstances through which we grew up, and sometimes we also replay some of the mistakes in our mind, and in the process we make anything bigger than what it should be otherwise. So what's the contrast to this? What happens when you amplify something? When you amplify failure, the answer to that is, instead of saying, and in therapy, the way I have approached this is, let's associate a cost with this, and the contrast there is, what you think this cost you, and versus what is the actual cost. Okay, when you position something like that in front of the client, in front of the subject, they are now literally, like, for example, I have a friend of mine who tells me, I have to do a presentation. If this presentation doesn't work, then I'm going to lose everything I have. Okay. Then the deflation strategy there is, okay, what's the, and then and my friend prepares for that, goes into the presentation, comes out, either, because there are so many presentations across weeks and months. One presentation goes very well, the other one doesn't. There are stakeholders, there are management layers and all that. So everybody's involved in the process. So every time my friend comes out and says, I don't think I did well, and this is the end of it. Well, end of what? Like, I think I'm going to, like, I messed up the meeting. This is a loss to the business, and and I forgot to mention a few things which were important, and this is it. I'll not be promoted anymore, okay, and will not get the project, will not get the funding. And my thing is, well, if you got yourself to present something, that means there's years and years and years of trust and credibility and hard work and everything, the visibility that you have created for yourself, the trust you created, all those things have contributed for you to go to this presentation. You are speaking there and you're presenting there, and just that one thing that you think that you messed up is responsible for completely stalling your entire career and you not getting a promotion. So the deflation there is, what do you think is the cost and what is the actual cost? Okay, when I position a question like that, suddenly the emotions go away. Now the logic kicks in. There's also a process to this and how to deflate that. So we look at failure as information, and you want to take it to the next level. Information can be turned into a lesson, and lesson can be used to learn something, to come back and redo or do it differently, things like that. So failure is information, and so if failure is information, rather than saying I failed, the affirmation there, or the reasoning there, is that I collected data, and every failure or every mistake is a test, and these tests are tests. They are not the final grades, so you can still keep on improving and get there. And then there is an additional, there's also something, you can compound this or this verbiage or this suggestion, and you can say things like, okay, even though we deflated the failure, but you still have built resilience. So every deflated failure also builds resilience. So that means there is a learning there, and we'll position that as saying, listen, every over time when these failures do happen, so let's take the learning, but then every action from here on is going to be compounding, and there's going to be a major advantage, and massive advantage towards the end. Okay, so that's how it is. Now I sum it up. It's a normal conversation. I sum it up in a conversation like this, but if it's a more deeper therapy situation, then this can be used as a suggestion to the unconscious mind. This can be used as a in a conversational hypnosis. This can be used also as a way to seed it into the unconscious mind in a conversational manner. And if that's not the case, then this can also be used as an affirmation that can be rehearsed practically every day. So where am I going with all this is that whether you're a coach or whether you are just a practitioner of self-improvement, try to understand the cost of the failure. Failures are given. They're going to be there all the time. Every time there is a success, and failure is right next to it. So that's why we say failure and success are two sides of the same coin. So it's going to be there. We always get into the high part of the success and we feel good about ourselves, but then there is the other side where there may be some lessons. We can't say it's failure, but there could be lessons also. So we take the data, we then use it to make the next move, and then we compound so that we have massive advantage towards the end. That's the idea. Okay, you do that with yourself, you do that with your clients, use this as an affirmation, use this as a suggestion, whichever way you want to seed it, use it with your children, okay, and people who you love and care for. Okay, I'm going to stop here. Hopefully this was helpful. If it is, do me a favor, drop me a comment so you and I can chat, and if you like this video, I can reach some more people. But if you do subscribe to this channel, then I'm in front of you at this point every day, and every day is a different day. I show up, I record my videos in this manner in my car, on my iPhone. One of these days I may upgrade this setup and all, but for now this is it. And I have a conversation without any filters, without any angles, without any lights, any of that stuff. So this is my Zen zone. This is how, you know, I get the best of my ideas, and this is where I perform. Okay, that's all for now. Again, you take care, and I'll be with you as early as tomorrow. Bye now.